Session, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich. Here. Spitali. Here. Kalwinski.
Here.
Torres.
Here.
Higgs. Emerson.
Here.
Warple.
Here.
Rakels.
Here.
Venez.
Here. Let the record reflect 8 present, 1 absent. Moving on to reading of the minutes.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
make a motion to accept the minutes from November 13th, 2017.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson, to accept the minutes of November 13th, 2017. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of claims.
Madam Chair Lady,
Yes, Councilman Mark.
move for approval of claims November 8th, 2017 through November 21st, 2017 for council meeting November 27th, 2017. Beginning with claims dated 11/13/17 and ending with claims dated 11/21/17. Claim number 6753 through claim number 7077 for a total of $14,224,119.86. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Spitali, for approval of claims from November 8th through November 21st, 2017. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres.
Yes.
Higgs. Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Venez.
Yes. Claims passed, 8 in favor, 1 absent. There are no public hearings. Communications. Any communications?
Madam President?
Yes, Councilman Rakos.
HC3 invites the community to join us for the ribbon cutting and grand opening of our new public spaces at Martha and Kennedy and Hessville Park. Ribbon cutting will be at the Martha and Kennedy location with the reception following at one of our community establishments. Food and refreshments will be served. Thank you. That's from the HC3 Beautification Committee Special Events.
Thank you.
Date and time for that?
That'll be on December 7th, at 2:30. Thank you.
Any other communications? Any other communications? Any other communications? Communications is now closed. Moving on to committee reports.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Morphle.
Council as a whole will be bringing out 1732.
Okay.
And, oh, go ahead.
And Councilman Spitali?
Finance Committee be bringing out 1733.
Thank you. And at this time, I would like to read the upcoming Community and Crime Watch meetings. The East Hammond Pullman Crime Watch will meet on Tuesday, December 12th at the Ophelia Steen Center at 6:30 p.m. Edison Community Watch will meet Wednesday, December 6th, 6:30 p.m. at Edison School. Edison on the Road will meet Monday, December 4th. This is a time change and a date change too. Monday, December 4th at 4 p.m. at the Golden Manor Senior Apartments on the corner of 175th and Columbia. And the Obannon School Choir will be entertaining the seniors at that meeting. Harrison Park Crime Watch will meet Tuesday, December 5th, 6:30 p.m. at the VFW on Homan Avenue. Irving Community Watch will meet Friday, December 1st, 9:15 a.m. at Irving School. Pulaski Park Neighborhood Association will meet Tuesday, November 28th, 6:30 p.m. at the American Legion. The Whiting-Robertsdale Crime Watch will meet Thursday, December 14th, 6:30 p.m. at Calumet College. And there is a new meeting. People throughout the city have recognized the benefits of having Crime Watch meetings. So I was contacted about a new meeting. This will be Wednesday, December 13th at 2:30 p.m. at Mount Zion Pleasant View Plaza on Kenwood. Anyone who's interested in finding out what's going on in your neighborhood and to learn some safety measures to protect you and your family, particularly during these holidays, I urge you to attend a community or Crime Watch meeting anywhere in the city, because community is not just about me, it's about us. Committee reports is now closed. Moving on to ordinance, third and final reading.
Ordinance number 17-32, sponsored by Councilman Warple. An ordinance creating a new non-reverting fund number 205 for Park Department donations.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Warple.
I move for final passage and adoption of 1732.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Warple, second by Councilman Spitali for final passage of ordinance number 1732. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres.
Yes.
Higgs. Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes. 1732 passes, 8 in favor, 1 absent.
Ordinance 17-33, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance creating a new fund, Fund Number 256, for the City of Hammond Police Department for DUI Task Force funds.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
for final passage of 1733.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson for final passage of 1733. Any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
until this year, the Hammond Police Department have used their general overtime account to pay for the officers. Now, this grant for the DUI task force funds will have its own account, number 256.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote, please.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Kalwinski. Torres.
Yes.
Higgs. Emerson.
Yes.
Warple.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes. 1733 passes, 8 in favor, 1 absent.
President Vines, that concludes the ordinances for final passage.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to introduction of ordinances.
Item A, ordinance 17-34, sponsored by Councilman Warple. An ordinance authorizing the city controller to transfer funds from one line item to another within various city 2017 budgets.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Warple.
I move on first and second reading and refer to finance for a 5 p.m. meeting on December 18th.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Warple, second by Councilman Rakos for first and second reading of 1734 and refer to finance at 5 p.m. on December 18th. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, ordinance 17-35, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance creating a rainy day fund, number 245, for the city of Hammond.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Spitali.
move through first and second reading, refer to the Finance Committee with the meeting set up for 5 o'clock.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson for first and second reading of 1735, referring to finance with a 5 p.m. meeting on December 18th. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, ordinance 17-36, sponsored by Councilman Rakos. An ordinance creating a new fund, number 255, for the city of Hammond for purposes of receipts and disbursement of FEMA assistance to firefighters grant funds.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Rakos.
I move for first and second reading, 1736, and refer to finance December 18th at 5 p.m.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Rakos, second by Councilman Warple for first and second reading of 1736 with a Finance Committee meeting at 5 p.m. on December 18th. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, ordinance 17-37, sponsored by Councilman Kalwinski. An ordinance reclassifying certain lands in the city of Hammond for zoning purposes and amending ordinance number 8514, which is an ordinance establishing a zoning plan for the city of Hammond, including the regulations and maps to administer the zoning plan in order to provide for orderly growth and development within the city, all in accordance with the comprehensive use plan as amended for property commonly known as 121 142nd Street.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman Kalwinski.
I move that 17-37 pass through first and second reading, be referred to Building and Zoning Committee with a meeting set for December 18th at 5:15 p.m., as well as an intent to consider for December 18th. Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Kalwinski, second by Councilman Spitali for first and second reading of 1737, referred to Building and Zoning at 5:15 on December 18th with a notice of intent to consider. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
President Vines, that concludes the introduction of ordinances.
We have no resolutions. New and unfinished business.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilman.
earlier or later this year, Councilman Emerson and I put together some gaming funds to fix 173rd Street from Chestnut, the part we share, to Columbia to Chestnut, and then I had some leftover funds, and it was scheduled to be from Chestnut to White Oak. They came out, they put a curb in, which was needed, and because of the weather, which I totally get, they had to patch it up and leave it until the spring because of the fact that the pavement can't be as guaranteed when the temperature gets below 45 when they lay it. So Councilman Emerson and I agreed that it would be better to wait to the spring for them to finish the blacktopping job. And no, we haven't lost our mind. We're not leaving the street like that. But I just wanted to make that point clear because I have been questioned on it a couple of times. If that was all we were doing was putting in that curb and leaving the street like that, and the answer to that question is no.
Well, I, for one, appreciate that overlay. Long overdue. Thank you. Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Torres.
I'd like a letter sent to the city engineer to research what would be the cost of establishing a quiet zone at 5100 Soul, that Michigan Central Railroad. You understand there's got to be structural improvements and whatever else is needed. I'd like to know what the cost of that would be. There's at least 4 senior buildings there, 2 in the Renaissance, the Humphrey and the Hammond elderly, plus the other residents. And we're kind of fed up with the tooting of the horns at 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning. So I believe I heard some cities have spent as much as $250,000. I don't know if that's gone up or not, but I would just like to know what the figures are.
All
Thank
righty.
you.
Motion by Councilman Torres to have a letter sent to engineering inquiring as to the cost of a quiet zone at 5100 Soul. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Markovich. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other new and unfinished business?
Madam Chairman?
Yes, Councilman.
I also like to comment on the improvements at Columbia Park. I know today they're pouring asphalt on that, but I too am concerned about, they started about mid-October. I'm concerned about the weather. If it's at this time of year, it's unpredictable. But I probably send another letter to the engineer to see what the progress is on that. Make a motion and send a letter, give me the progress on Columbia Park.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Torres, second by Councilman Markovich to send a letter to the city engineer regarding the progress at Columbia Park. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any other new and unfinished business? Any other new and unfinished business? Any other new and unfinished business? New and unfinished business is now closed. Public expression. The first speaker of the night is Kurt Hoff. Okay.
Handwriting's terrible.
My apologies,
I'm
Carl.
lefty.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name's Carl Wolf. I live at 7128 Monroe. And I am here today to urge the council to consider and pass the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA resolution, that has been, I believe, presented to the council members, at least individually by email, and I also have additional copies here. This resolution is in response to the ongoing attacks on our immigrant brothers and sisters here in Hammond and the United States. As the resolution says, unauthorized immigrants who came to the United States before 16 DACA gave those immigrants, also known as dreamers, a chance to stay in the United States to study or work, provided they met certain conditions, such as being enrolled in high school or having a high school degree or GED diploma, and not having a serious criminal conviction. Indiana the state has 9,840 DACA recipients who bring in approximately $23 million in state and local taxes here in the state of Indiana in 2016. And so I believe that this is a real opportunity for the Common Council, the City Council here, to condemn President Trump's rescission of DACA. This council is really our first line of communication with the political world for the city, for the residents of this city. And so I think it's very important that the residents of this city see that their first line of elected representatives stand with them, that this council supports a comprehensive and workable approach to solving our nation's historically broken immigration system for our neighbors, for our friends. I was driving my son home from Gavitt, or actually from the Y. He went to the Y afterwards with his friend, whose parents are immigrants. And I asked him, I said, where were you born? And he said, in Mexico. And I thought to myself, assuredly, this 15-year-old kid who's a wonderful student in Gavitt and lives on Monroe, a neighbor, a friend, maybe one day a son-in-law, who knows, is a dreamer. And that this city relies on this council to take that first stand for us, to protect, to claim that protection, to claim that we will not abandon our friends, neighbors, husbands, wives, sisters, and brothers. And so I urge you, if you need another copy of the resolution, I urge you to pass this resolution as other towns in this region have already done. And let us know that you stand with the people of this great city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf.
If I may ask, how do I go about next of urging the council along to do this, to pass this resolution?
If you would get us all a copy of that, that would be wonderful.
Okay, and then I would follow up?
Yes,
With?
thank you. So you have it. Any one of us.
Okay,
Thank you. The next speaker is Carlotta Blake King. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Carlotta Blake King, 1004 Highland Street, Hammond, Indiana. Excuse my voice, please. Good evening. I come before you with an urgent concern regarding the fact that now that we have passed the School City of Hammond referendum, as a person that worked closely with going door to door seeking support, one of the biggest items that folks were afraid of and continue to be afraid of is that of the influx of the Illinois folks coming into our city and utilizing our schools. Major concern that we're building schools for Illinois parents. And what are we going to do about it? I've shared a possible solution with Councilman Higgs and Councilman Markovich, so I want to share it with the entire body tonight. Perhaps we can explore, and it would take Attorney Berger doing the exploration on this, explore the fact that if we drew up an ordinance, a law, you are our lawmakers, our legislative body, stating, in fact, that if a parent or guardian signed a document stating that they are a Hammond resident and we find them to be not telling the truth, that document would say you would be subject to fines, possible arrest, so on and so on and so on, whatever meets the law. I've researched this in other cities. Munster has a similar ordinance on the books. In fact, they go as far, when they suspect someone doesn't live in their city and is utilizing their tax dollars to educate their kids, they go to the houses and want to see the closet where the kids' clothes are. I've talked to parents where they actually did, and I'm not asking for that. But simply, I mean, we talk about it, we complain about the Illinois, influx of Illinois residents utilizing our schools. As legislators, I'm asking you to protect our investment that we've made. Our property taxes will increase, and I'm asking you as lawmakers to protect those increases and protect the students of Hammond and make sure they utilize the very schools that we are building for their benefit. So it's a possible solution. I don't have it in a written form, but this is what people are saying. This is what they were most afraid of. We're paying extra taxes for Illinois students. And I have personally registered students at Hammond High School, and parents don't like to sign anything. They don't even like to sign that that's their child. They're very hesitant about signing off on documents. So if we put a document in front of them saying, when you're swearing that you are a resident of the city of Hammond, and if we find that you are not telling the truth, you are subject to fines, arrest, or whatever you guys can come up with to scare these people. You have a press conference to let the folks know what's coming to head, and I'm pretty sure they don't want to tangle with this. If I was an Illinois parent, I don't think I would even sign it. I think I would just take my child home back to Illinois and do the best I can. But we have to begin protecting our investment here in the city of Hammond when it comes to our property values and education. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is, excuse me, Rashada Moore Morris. Good evening. If you
Good
would
evening.
state your name and
Yeah.
address for the record, please.
Rosharda Moore Morris, 6119 Reverend Burns Drive. I am here on the same issue, and I want to make sure that this is citywide, because as we campaigned for the referendum, it was at all the schools that parents began to talk about the residents from Chicago being registered at their schools. And as I discussed with some of the parents, we know they're using addresses of people who live in the city of Hammond. And it is very obvious that this is having an impact. Now, we don't know how or where this lies, but we're bringing it to your attention and the school board of trustees because they were there too. If you can work together, because this is an issue throughout the city of Hammond. Clark, especially those schools that are on the border, Lincoln, Hammond High, Edison, you can see the cars lined up at the border when it's dismissal time. You can see the cars 2 blocks from Edison dropping off their kids, Kenwood, okay? So it's impacting the entire city. And we need to come together and deal with this issue. And I tell you personally, when I was campaigning at the schools at dismissal time, it struck me in the face when I saw all the Illinois license plates. And I would be an irresponsible taxpayer if I didn't bring this to your attention and to the school board of trustees that it must be dealt with. I have no problem supporting education. That's our most important endeavor, and education is economic development. But I'm not going to support education for people in Chicago who do not pay taxes to use our facilities. And I mean all of the facilities in Hammond are being affected by it. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Final speaker of the evening, George Stoya. I didn't forget about you this time, George. Oh, you are. Darn, I'm so disappointed. Thank you. Public expression is now closed. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Spitali. Second by Councilman Emerson to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have a good evening. And remember, our next meeting is